Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Self-Love First. My name is Alicia, and thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate you and hope that you can smash the like button if you find value in this message, since it helps my channel a lot and it's free. Anyway, if you've been feeling a little off this week, foggy, extra emotional, wide awake at 3 a.m., or on the complete opposite end, unusually calm and clear, I want you to know this right away, is that you're not imagining it and you're not alone. Because on the night of the 27th of August, sliding into the early morning of August 28th, we are being met with one of the most dramatic lunar eclipses that many of us will ever see in our lifetime. Nearly the entire moon, almost 96% of it, is going to slip into the Earth's shadow. It won't fully go dark like a total eclipse. Instead, it turns this deep, glowing copper red, like the sky itself is asking us to sit in the embers of something. And here's what makes this moment even more potent. This isn't a standalone event. This eclipse is closing the note of an entire season of cosmic activity that's been building since the middle of this month. So today, I want us to walk through what's actually happening up there, why it matters energetically, and what you might be feeling in your body and your emotions right now. And most importantly, how do we move through it, grounded, embodied, and still joyful? Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start with the plain facts, because I always want you and I to feel informed, not just intrigued. 2 weeks ago, on August 12th, the sky gave us a total solar eclipse. The first one in mainland Europe that they've seen in almost 30 years. And it lined up with a rare alignment of 6 planets stretching across the pre-dawn sky. It was beautiful. Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, all visible roughly in the same stretch of sky all at once, as long as the sky was clear enough to see from wherever you were. Unfortunately, I had too much cloud coverage and I couldn't see it in person, just in pictures. But now, just 2 weeks later, we're closing that same eclipse season with this deep lunar eclipse of 27th through the 28th. Having 2 major eclipses, one solar, one lunar, within the same eclipse season is genuinely uncommon. It won't happen again with this kind of intensity until 2028. Energetically, when I see a season stacked like this, a solar eclipse, a planetary alignment, and a lunar eclipse, all within weeks of each other, I read that is that the universe is handing us an entire portal, not just a single doorway. Solar eclipses tend to plant new seeds, new beginnings, even ones that ask us to release the old identities to make room. Lunar eclipses, on the other hand, are culmination points. They ask, what has reached its natural end? What truth is ready to be seen fully in the light, or in this case, that deep coppery shadow? And I'd like to add one more real current layer to this. Right now, the sun has an active stream of solar wind that's expected to peak right around the 27th, which could bring elevated geomagnetic activity, even increased aurora visibility in certain regions that wouldn't normally have it. So we have shadow, light, and charged solar wind all converging on the same nights. That's not fear-mongering. It's just what's happening up there. And I think that it's actually a beautiful mirror for what so many of us are processing internally right now. Here's the piece that I want us to most consider today. During an eclipse window, the veil between our subconscious patterns and our conscious awareness gets thinner. Whatever you're placing your focused attention on, whether that's fear, scarcity, old grief, or, on the other hand, gratitude, possibility, and love, tends to get louder, amplified. It's not that the eclipse is doing something to you. It's that the eclipse is turning the volume up on what's already playing. This is why so many spiritual teachers, and myself included, talk about eclipse windows as portals of accelerated manifestation. Not in the like manifest a new car kind of sense, although I believe anything's possible, but in the sense that your internal state gets mirrored back to you faster and more vividly than it usually would. So if you've noticed old wounds surfacing this week, or an ex appearing in your dreams, or a sudden wave of anxiety that you can't quite explain, that's not a sign that something is wrong. It's the portal doing exactly what it's designed to do. And that's bringing what's unconscious into the light so it can finally be released. And this is exactly the kind of moment that the MAP method was built for. When your brain enters this heightened state like that, what neuroscience calls a window of reconsolidation, old beliefs actually become more malleable, more available to gently rewrite. An eclipse is, in a lot of ways, a natural, collective version of that same window. I'll talk more about how to work with that later in the video, but for now, just notice what's been asking for your attention lately. Don't judge or suppress it. Just notice that and allow it to be there. So let's talk about the body, because eclipse energy doesn't just live in the mind. It moves through us physically. Some of the most common things that I hear from people around these times are having disrupted sleep, waking up between 2 and 4 a.m., feeling exhausted, no matter how much rest you could have gotten. Emotional waves of every kind that seem to come from nowhere. Sudden tears, sudden anger, or sudden nostalgia. Some people feel a pull towards solitude, even if you're usually pretty social. You might just crave quiet or alone time right now, needing less stimulation to process whatever it is that you might be experiencing. Having vivid or intense dreams like her, because your subconscious is doing its nightly housekeeping, but just louder than usual. Physical sensitivity is real. Headaches, ringing ears, or just feeling tender or soreness somewhere in your body. You might have moments of unexpected clarity. Sometimes right in the middle of your brain fog, it's like a sudden download of insight or an aha moment. If you're feeling several of these, this is your system integrating. It's not a malfunction, even though that's what it feels like. Think of it like your nervous system doing spring cleaning during the week of the year that the house is already turned upside down anyway. It makes sense to clear things out right now. And if you're feeling none of this, if you feel calm, clear, and unusually grounded, that's just as valid. Not everyone experiences these eclipse windows in the same way. And there's no quote unquote more spiritual version. Your experience is your own. So, practically, what do we do with all of this intensity? First, protect your energetic output and input. During an amplification window, be very intentional about what you're consuming. The news, social media, conversations that leave you feeling depleted. And it's not about avoidance. It's about not feeding the amplifier with the wrong signal. Second, get your feet on the actual earth. I do this every single day, but it matters even more right now. Barefoot on the grass or in the sand, even just for 5 minutes, discharges that excess nervous system activation and reconnects you to something steadier than our racing thoughts. Third is breathe consciously on purpose, several times a day. Not a big production, just a handful of slow, deep breaths. Whenever you notice your mind speeding up or spiraling out of control, that single act of a conscious breath pulls you out of your head and back into your heart, which is really where you want to be living through this whole window at this time. Or journal. What's surfacing? Rather than pushing it down, whether it be in your dreams or when you're awake. You don't need to fix anything at the moment. Just witness it. Write it down. And let it move through instead of getting stuck. And if you can, watch the actual eclipse. There's something powerful about physically seeing this. And the good part about this one is there's no special equipment needed. it's completely safe to view with the naked eye. If you're in the Americas, it's positioned beautifully at around midnight, the close of the 27th, as we move into the first early morning hours of the 28th. Step outside, look up, and consciously set an intention as a shadow moves across the moon. What am I ready to release? Before it starts, find a quiet moment and a quiet space. Place your hand on your heart. Take a few slow breaths and ask yourself just one question. What is this eclipse season asking me to complete so that I can walk into what's next for me? Whatever comes up, write it down or speak it out loud or just sit with it. You don't have to have the full answer today. The invitation of an eclipse isn't ever to force clarity. It's to create the space for clarity to arrive on its own. And if you find that something deeper is surfacing, an old belief, a pattern that you're ready to finally release, well, that's exactly the work I do inside of the MAP method. We meet your nervous system in its own natural window of change, like this one, and gently guide your mind to release what it's been carrying that no longer serves you. If that resonates, the contact me link is be listed below in the description. I'd love to know, what have you been noticing since this eclipse season opened on the 12th? Drop it in the comments. This community holds so much wisdom collectively, and I enjoy reading every single comment. If this video supported you, it would mean the world to me if you could give it a like and subscribe for weekly heart-centered content every Wednesday. And share it with someone who needs to know that they're not alone in what they're feeling right now, whatever that might be. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and as always, self-love first, always. Have a wonderful day and week and lunar eclipse weekend. I love you, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Take care.